What's up, SNA fans? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another wrestling news video. This is episode 197 of the SNA podcast, where I'm going to be talking about the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you, SNA fans, need to know from the Fightful article on December 28th, 2023. And this is part 78 of the wrestling news, and we're going to start off today with Chelsea Green and my team with Piper Niven.
Hey, Julian, I just got an update from Shayla's grandpa.
Yeah.
Don't be going into many public places.
Yes, sir.
RSV
I was
going around.
I was thinking about,
and it's spreading everywhere like COVID.
Right. I was thinking about that just when you were on the phone with Miss Chris.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, if that's the case, then I better not go to that much in public. I might as well go online. Exactly.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Okay, I just want to let you know.
Thank you for the warning. Wow. Like if this is gonna be like 2020, then that means I better be doing stuff digitally now. Yeah, if that's the case, which is more likely, when that's the case. Yeah. Yeah. And for those who knows about the RSV virus, like my best recommendation is not to go that much public places right now, viewers. Before I begin, from breaking updates, but anyways, let's move on to the wrestling news video. It says we got some Chelsea Green and Piper Niven news of saying my team with Piper Niven was easy to skip into. We have a history. And it says right here, Chelsea Green discusses the differences in her tag team partners. Since Chelsea Green returned to WWE in January 2023, she has worked with Carmella and Sonya Deville, and even Piper, and now her current tag partner Piper Niven. Green and Deville won the Women's Tag Team Championship on the July 17th episode of WWE Raw. Piper Niven took Deville's place with Sonya. Went down with a torn ACL. And it says, speaking with Spencer Love for Love Wrestling, Chelsea Green discussed the differences in working with Sonya Deville, Carmella, and Piper Niven. Even before those two, this is what Chelsea Green had to say. She was like, even before those two, I had Carmella before she got pregnant, and was pregnant with Dimitri. That was an experience in it itself. Like it was very much like a little mean girl, cling, like with two very in two very aesthetically like pleasing characters. Then I went on the on Sonya, where we really didn't know how we fit together. We knew we had to make it work. We just didn't know how. I think at the end of the day, that ended up being what bonded us was the fact that like I knew that we had to make this work because this is our dream. Then moving on from that after Sonia was injured, which was so heartbreaking, definitely for her, but also for me. It had grown so close to her, and she was kind of my comfort blanket at work at this new job, Green said. Green, Green continued by recalling how she was paired up with Piper Niven. She looked like back on their look on their history, which other which with each other. Green then noted that she she and Niven want to get to get the titles back. She also teased that Niven could help her in the Royal Rumble. And Green also continued again this by saying, "The moving on and not knowing who I was going to be with when they said I was going to be with Piper. What a lot of people don't know is that I actually lived in Japan with Piper, uh, and we wrestled for stardom together. So we did have a history. We already had a friendship that was actually out of the three, probably the easiest one to slip into. However, you we are not the same wrestler. We are not the same person. That's that's something that you have seen like day in and day out in the ring. It says us trying to work on. I mean, even in Des Moines, Iowa, like we were not on the same page. We may have lost the titles, but doesn't mean we are not going to get them back. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe going into this year's Royal Rumble, I now have some backup in Piper that might play into something in there. I don't know, depending on what number we are, Green said. In the same interview, commented in the same interview, Chelsea Green commented on potentially working with Cardi B, which that's in another article somewhere, which we're probably going to do right now. Matt Cardona previously also praised his wife, praises his wife's run in WWE, which also in another interview. But what's your thoughts on What's your thoughts about the origins of her team with Piper Niven and being such a successful tag team in her run as women's tag team champion before it got dethroned by the current champs, Caden Carter and Katana Chance. Let me know about that in the comments down below. And also and what's your thoughts on her already having previous history with her teammate Piper Niven in their time in Stardom in Japan? Let me know also about that in the comments down below. Which I did not know that. I did not know they were working in Stardom in Japan. Like Stardom in Japan with Niven previously, like before they joined WWE. So I'll say maybe this was perhaps an idea they kind of helped pitched in with WWE. I was like, no wonder, because it's like an odd pairing, or at least in my case it is. But I did not know until reading this article. This is the first time to be on my honest thoughts about this. I did not know that, so I'll say that explains why they had Sonya Deville replaced by someone that Chelsea Green previously knew, which she still knows to this day, to take Sonya's spot of being a very dominant tag team in the women's tag division as the tag team champions. But I'm gonna let you. Well, I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you guys. But I'm gonna let you guys let me know in the comments down below. Let's move on to some more Chelsea Green news. Like she wants to wrestle or team up with Cardi B. And it says popular rapper and actress Cardi B is a known wrestling fan, and she has teased getting involved. She recently said her WrestleMania entrance would have to be grand, like Melina's, and while speaking on Spencer wrestling wrestling, WWE star Chelsea Green was asked whether she would want to wrestle with or wrestle with or against Cardi B. She said, "I love that question because you know me as usual. It's see where things go. It's just like fly by the seat or of my pants. Like, however, I'm being honest. I I wanted Cardi B. Like if I couldn't get Cardi B, I wanted to wrestle Cardi B. There there were just so many good options, and Chelsea, Chelsea's Chelsea's got talent. Green said. Green also reflected on Chelsea's Got Talent, like her search for a new tag team partner, and described like how various people got involved. Like she she noted that main roster stars, NXT talents, and even reality stars, like auditioned, Chelsea Green continued. What I really liked is that we saw people from all over. We didn't seen we did see main roster talent and announcers. Like we saw Kathy Kelly, we saw R Truth, but like, but we also saw really amazing NXT talent that people real haven't really seen yet. Like Carmen from NXT auditioned. Like we saw reality stars like Hindi Montag a montage like Hindi montage like from the heels like so I mean it could have been another like anyone like and I hadn't decided yet. You know it was only just the the pro, the pre the preliminary rounds like nobody like made it to the semifinals like in the finals uh, in the finals, Green said. Like as of this writing, there is no word on whether Cardi B will perform in a WWE ring. In September, Cardi B said she would love to attend a WWE event and slap someone. And will you be for all that? Or will you be all in for that? Like if Cardi B did ever had a WWE run, let me know in the comments down below for that. And what's your thoughts on Chelsea Green? Hope that she finds her in Chelsea's Got Talent, like along with like any like all the other all the other kind of female. Uh, all the other females and celebrities in her Chelsea's Got Talent list, like went from the likes of Kathy Kelly and like a backstage interviewer and an NXT star Carmen Petrovich, and even reality stars H- Hindi Montage. And do you think that, and most importantly, do you think that Chelsea Green will ever team with Cardi B or even wrestle Cardi B in a high and anticipated match in WWE? Y'all let me know in the comments down below. And do you think, what are your thoughts? And do you think that Cardi B will make her WWE debut alongside Chelsea Green or face Chelsea Green, or do you see that she's gonna team or wrestle Carmella instead, as soon as she gets done recovering from her pregnancy, with from uh from her and Corey Graves' newborn baby? Let me know all of that in the comments down below. But I would say she would make a run for the fact that she's a wrestling fan, and I'll say it depends on who she would love to face, which she'll probably would see this interview, and she'll probably take this as a opportunity in hands, like either her or Carmella, of course, because she's good friends with Carmella. Thank you so much, Michael Vasquez, one of my regular viewers on the SNA podcast. Welcome aboard. And make sure to watch until the very end because it's going to get more and more interesting on these wrestling news video. But yeah, appreciate the comment for my video. But yeah, I'm gonna let you guys be the judge of that in the comments down below on what's your thoughts on that about Cardi B possibly joining WWE and who should she face? Which that's a good question. Maybe this will be a good idea. I would say I got a long list of women's wrestlers that she could be in the ring with, like and share the ring with, like whether if she teams with them or fights. I can think of 3 wrestlers, which I'm not sure if I should name drop right now, like which I'll say maybe I should because for obvious reasons. Because I already brought up two of them out of the three, but I'm going to include the third wrestler that she could have a good match with. Like, first, yeah, Carmella. Second, Chelsea Green. And Sasha Banks, if she ever makes her return. Which rumor has it that she can make her return at the Royal Rumble, which I would believe she would. And I was thinking to myself, like, if she ever made a return, it had to be at the Royal Rumble. Even though she's doing success in New Japan, I would say never, don't rule out a Royal Rumble return. Never rule out a return. Mickie James made that possible when she was Impact Knockouts champion. When she was in TNA Impact Wrestling. But we'll move on with okay, we're gonna move on to some Gipsy Rose Blanchard picked up following prison release by new husband, like with Bret Hart license plate. And it says right here on Tuesday, December 28th, like not Tuesday, Thursday, today, December 28th, Gimpsy Rose Blanchard was released earlier from prison earlier today after after serving 7 years on a charge of second degree murder of her mother, like Dee Dee Blanchard. And it said after being released from a person, like Blanchard was picked up by her husband, who was driving a car with a hitman license plate, like not just any hitman, like though we're talking Bret the Hitman Hart, baby, which it said on this article, of course. Yeah, it's so crazy. But anyways, it's been posted on X/Twitter that Gipsy Blanchard picked up after prison release by new husband, a wrestling fan with Hitman Hart license plate, and it says right here, another win for Team Bret Hart. Your move, your move, Shawn Michaels, like Earl Hebner, who was the referee in the infamous Montreal Screwjob, recently said that he and Bret Hart have made up, fans can learn more about Earl Hebner's comments by clicking on to this article. But before I do, I show you this post from Twitter/X about this news report about this woman being committed second degree murder on her own mother, and she was picked. And it says Gimpsy Rose Blanchard and it says she's been picked up by a new husband in a Bret the Hitman Hart custom made license plated Cadillac like car. And what's your thoughts on that? Which I don't have that much to say. I'll say only just about the Bret the Hitman Hart license plate looks very nice. Like, and I need this. I need the. If I ever had a car, like I would most definitely would get a custom made wrestling license plate, at least on the front side of the car, like to be put on. But let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. I'm just collecting news, collecting plenty of wrestling news from the articles to talk about and have a topic about on my wrestling news. Like, so I don't know what this has to do much about wrestling, only about the license plate of Bret the Hitman Hart. It's only just about a woman like is getting released from jail from second degree murder on her own mother, and she was picked up by this guy being known new husband that's a big wrestling fan. So I do not know what's this has to do much about wrestling. Only just we're gonna talk about this license plate, like, but yeah, just be safe out there and always have someone to talk to, like when you feel like that you're alone and you don't have no one, no companions to talk to. If if you feel that way, there's always someone out there that wants to speak with you. Like there's always that friend or family member that would love to the of the speak and talk to you about anything like that. There is to talk to you that you're not about the topic of you're not alone and you always have that special someone that to speak to. Well, I'm not sure if describe it special would be the perfect way to describe this, but you get the point. But we're gonna move on to the next wrestling news, and that is we're gonna move on with Earl Hebner says he and Bret Hart have made up, and it says we're going on to this wrestling news article. The former WWE referee and the former WWE champion uh, are on good terms again. Like the Montreal Screwjob is one of the most infamous moments in wrestling history, with Vince McMahon ensuring Bret Hart did not leave WWE Survivor Series in 1997 with the WWE Championship, asking for the bell to be rung as Shawn Michaels had Hart in a sharpshooter. Very few were in on the screw job, but referee Earl Hebner was one of them, calling for the bail and then running out of the ring like as it rang. And it said, speaking on to speak Steve Fall of WrestlingNews.co, Hebner was asked if he thought like something could go wrong before the match. He said, "Not really. Like truthfully, like I thought like everything had been worked out, like and settled, like and was okay." Like at the time to go to the ring, he replied, and it says Hart would leave WWE for WCW, and Montreal Screwjob would be referenced for years, like with Shawn Michaels and Hebner getting a massive boos, like and you screwed Brett chants, like in Canada, which I'd be hearing from plenty of moments, like plenty of booing moments in WWE history, which one of them being from Shawn Michaels, of course. Like and me as a kid, I did not even pay attention much of that because the Montreal Screwjob happened a few years before I was born. Before I was even born, I should say, if I'm being proper, of course. So I know what they were talking about till like a few years later, like when a decade has passed, when Bret Hart came back, and I was like, oh, like that's what they mean by Bret Hart. I mean, you screwed Bret, Chance, because yeah, he did screw Bret along with Vince McMahon planning this the whole time, like with him hitting the sharpshooter, and then he unplanningly uh, told the bellkeeper to ring the bell, saying Shawn Michaels is the new WWE champion, which that it made no sense, which that was way unnecessary. Definitely was legitimately wrong. Like him doing that to Bret Hart, but luckily they're all on good terms. They let bygones be bygones. But anyways, it said like Hart, Michaels, and McMahon like all made up in 2004, and it says Hebner says that he and Bret made up like after the passing of Earl's brother Dave Hebner in last year in 2022. He continued, "I have a merch shirt that says "Damn right I did." Damn right I did. And a lot of people want me to say, "Can you write on it?" Like it screwed. Like I screwed Brett. Like I go, no, I can't do that. I while back, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I would do it, but Brett and I made up. And before my brother passed, we were at a show, or we were at a house show or indie show, and he was there, and he called us into the ring and he put us over like big time. So now Brett calls me now and then, and I'll call him, and we got a good uh, uh, relationship back, and I'm not gonna screw it up by writing something shirt over a dumbass shirt. It's gonna destroy our friendship for a long time. It honestly it it bothered me. Like it was bad for me, because I carried it with me from the last of the years. Like we met like one time in an airport, and I wanted to talk to him, and he said, "I don't want to talk to you." And he's And I said, "Can I talk to you like for a few minutes?" He goes, "I I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk." I said, "Okay." Like so I let it go, and that was it. And as time went on, it finally worked out well. We got to see each other and communicate. Hebner has a new book coming out titled Earl Hebner: The Official Story. Fans can like learn about it in the other article, like our other article on here on Fightful Select. Like, but it talks about his whole entire life in and outside the ring as a WWE referee. And what's your thoughts on Earl Hebner making up for Bret Hart, from over 2 decades and a half ago, from the infamous Montreal Screwjob, with him being a part of as the referee into hit between the Hitman and Shawn Michaels' match for the WWE Championship in Survivor Series in that year in 1997. Let me know in the comments down below. But I think it worked out pretty well because, like, for the fact that like they're no longer like into that scenario like 26 years ago, because that was then, not now. Like, things has changed, things has passed. So like, yeah, no, so they just let bygones be bygones. And like what Triple H said on that press conference about CM Punk, like, if you're gonna be acting the same way like 10 years later, there's something wrong with you, like in a bad way, if you're gonna be acting the same person that you were a decade ago. Which I would totally agree with Triple H, like, for saying that. Like everything has changed, everything has passed, like they all forgiven. Like, there's no reason why they should have a grudge on somebody. Like, like from years ago. Like, it just don't make any sense. That's very not needed. Like if it was like recently, like, and then that particular person's still acting like a odd way, like odd way, and never changed, like, then you cannot be blamed for not liking that person. But what if it's past a decade ago, like, and they're more willing to let bygones be bygones, like you are, then yeah, you should keep it that way and have at least respect for one another. If y'all don't even like each other, but like, this is just a little advice for you viewers that are watching this video, that you should take when it comes to this situation. But what's your thoughts on, from over 26 years ago, like they made up from since then, and they forgiven each other? Y'all let me know. Like, what's your thoughts on that Earl Hebner and Bret the Hitman Hart forgiving each other from the infamous Montreal Screwjob, just like Bret the Hitman Hart did with Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon, nearly nearly a decade later from that day, like back in 2004, they said. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. It sounds like pretty much other wrestlers that forgave Vince McMahon, like, from the past, like that came back like a little bit over a decade later, like the Steiner brothers, especially Scott Steiner and Raven, like, and who else that left for over a decade or even a decade ago, and that left like in bad terms from Vince McMahon, and they eventually forgave him, and they've been on special WWE projects. I'll say, who was it? It was Ultimate Warrior. It was the Ultimate Warrior. Like, when they didn't really, what was it? I don't know what it was about. I heard it from a wrestling news, like on the top 10 list, like of the Ultimate Warrior. Like, they just blacklisted him when he left in bad terms. But as soon as he came back in 2014, he got inducted to the Hall of Fame. He forgave him Vince McMahon on whatever he had against him, and same go with Vince, and that's why he got the Hall of Fame induction, like, right before he passed away, like, which was very sad, because they were just getting in good terms, and they put him in a Legends contract at the time. And he even made an appearance on Raw saying, like, we're all going to be Warriors forever. And then, like, a day or two later, he sadly passed away, and back almost a decade ago. But they still have him in a Legends deal with his family. And then I believe they compensate, like, his wife and kids. And also they even honor his legacy by having his own award named after him, by calling it the Warrior Award in the Hall of Fame induction, on who have did the most heroic acts in in or outside the ring in professional wrestling, of the professional wrestler itself, like whether as a wrestler or as a person or a family person. Like they got awarded and rewarded like with the reward from the past few years with it, like the likes of from the likes of Titus O'Neil and Shad Gaspard, which everybody kind of criticized WWE for giving Titus O'Neil the Warrior Award before Shad Gaspard because he did the most selfless act in all of in anything in the world, like whether if he was being a normal person or a wrestler or anything, by saving his son's life and make sure he lived like before saving his own life, which sadly cost him his own life. Which I want to give condolences to the Gaspard family at this unfortunately heartbreaking and sad time. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below about like wrestlers leaving in bad terms and managing to for forgive and forget, like, and make up for their former employers in the comments down below. Which recently that was the case with CM Punk. Like for him returning in WWE and hell froze over on into that scenario as well. Let's move. But anyways, let's move on to the next wrestling news, and that is we got some David Finley news now as he talks about his brother. Like, what is it with him? Like, what is his thoughts on his brother signing with WWE? And he said, "I'd like to clear up the waters in Bullet Club, and I only care about the War Dogs." I'm not sure if this is about his brother. I think I must have got a different kind of news. And again, it could be like about his brother. But anyways, it says David Finley says that he wants the War Dogs to be at the top of the Bullet Club food chain. Bullet Club has been a disarray for years now, and a resolution for the factions problems don't seem to be coming in the near future. And it says, despite the chaos that exists in the faction, Bullet Club is still very successful, as many of the group's members have held championships in recent months. It said while speaking to Cultaholics des- desert 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 island graps for a new interview. Finley said that he'd like to unmuddy the waters in Bullet Club in 2024. He said, "I would really like to unmuddy the water. Like I said, like my Bullet Club that I see in the Bullet Club War Dogs, that's the only one I really care about. The rest of whatever it is, what it is. So if there's a way where we all duke it out and War Dogs come out on top as they would, that's where I'd like to see it go. But when I created the Bullet Club War, dogs like that. the mantra was bring bodies, bring gold. So we're gonna mess a whole lot of people up, and we're gonna have a whole lot of championships. That's the goal. That's always gonna be the goal. When asked if that would cause a Bullet Club civil war, Finley said it wouldn't really be a civil war. Would it? Elsewhere onto this exact same interview, like David Finley, confirmed that his brother is indeed Broken Finley is indeed has signed with WWE. Fans can learn more by clicking onto this article, which I'm going to do so, and we're going to continue talking about David Finley into this interview. But what's your thoughts on David Finley's comments about his faction that he's in New Japan, which is the latest updated version of the Bullet Club? Because there's so many versions of the Bullet Club. There's the Japanese version of the Bullet Club. There's the American version of the Bullet Club, like the current day and the early days, like with the likes of AJ Styles, Finn Balor when he was Prince Devitt at the time, and even Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega. I think even Adam Cole as well. Like all the names were on that faction at the time. But let me know in the comments down below on what's your thoughts. Oh, also, Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega as well, which I believe I already said Kenny Omega. But anyways, we're gonna move on with him. Yeah, we're gonna move on David Finley's talk about his brother being on NXT, like commenting this. It says David Finley comments on potentially moving to WWE one day. In October, Cassidy Haynes, Bodyslam.net reported that Broken Finley, Finley has offered a development was offered a developmental deal with WWE, and he was expected to report to the WWE Performance Center in January. Like Fightful Select then confirmed that he had been signed. Speaking on that exact same interview at Cultaholic Wrestling's Desert Island Graps, David Finley was asked to name which member of his family would be a good addition to Bullet Club. In his response, he confirmed that his brother Brogan was signed with WWE. He said, "I guess we got my dad Dave Finley as an option. The old wise man in this day and age. I wouldn't want to be on his bad side. Still, we got my little brother, Brogan, who actually just signed to NXT. I'd probably go with my dad. I'll take experience over youth. I would go with the old man," Finley said, after making it clear that he was proud of his brother, David, who has been with New Japan since 2015, was asked whether he had conversations with WWE previously. He said, "My only contract is my dad. My only contract needs to be my dad. On one hand, it's never been talked about officially, but on the other hand, about every other time I go over for dinner, it gets talked about. He's like, you could come work with me when I've accomplished like all I need to accomplish in Japan, of course. Maybe I'll entertain the option, like, but for right now, I got an IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship to win and the world famous, Finley said. At Wrestle Kingdom 18, at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom 18, David Finlay will face John Moxley and Will Ospreay for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. Fightful will have live coverage of the show, like as it airs. And what are your thoughts on David Finlay's comments on his brother Brogan Finlay being now a WWE superstar, signed as a NXT signing, I should say. Yeah. And what's your thoughts on that? And do you think that he's going to be successful in NXT? And do you think that David Finlay will one day be WWE bound and be a WWE superstar just like his brother and his father? And what's also your thoughts of saying like name the most name who could be a latest addition to the Bullet Club out of his family, which he would name his own father is his wise man, like Roman Reigns calls Paul Heyman his wise man. He would have his own father, Finlay, be his own wise man, which Finlay's now known as a trainer and one of the trainers in the Performance Center and a backstage producer on the main roster shows. And do you think that he would join the Bullet Club as a wise man, or do you think that he would manage him and train, or do you think that Dave Finlay, which we all know is Fit Finlay in his time in WWE, like, do you think like Tom is a wrestler, but do you think he's gonna bring in his other son in WWE and train him like what William Regal's doing with his son in NXT, as well as with his son Charlie Dempsey? And are we going to see Brogan Finlay taking on a Charlie Dempsey? And do you think he's going to go with the Finlay name, or is it going to be something else? It's going to be like a name that WWE has trademarked for Brogan. And do you think it's going to be the same for David Finlay, or do you think they're going to bring him in as David Finlay, which I would believe they would in the main roster? Like if they get much to that stardom to that point, like in that high main event level, I think they would make him like a. I think they will make him into some kind of a big deal in a way. Like if you know what I mean, like if they had him in the main event spot, like be as WWE champion or world heavyweight champion, like if that time comes, I'll say. Maybe they'll use their real names for the fact that they're the second generation superstars from their father, Finlay. But let me know in the comments down below what you think. I think David Finlay's going to wrestle for a while, and even if he doesn't win the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship, which I believe he will, for the fact that he's like the only guy that's under a New Japan contract that's against the other wrestlers that's now AEW wrestlers. But yeah, let me know. And like I said, let me know in the comments down below on what you think about this. I think he's going to win the Global Heavyweight Championship, even though I don't really watch much of New Japan stuff. But I hear some plenty of cool and interesting stuff from New Japan, maybe for the fact that AEW wrestlers and former WWE wrestlers that are now AEW wrestlers are wrestling on there, like the likes of Bryan Danielson and like the likes of Bryan Danielson, Eddie Kingston, John Moxley, uh, uh, Lance Archer, Will Ospreay, which he was originally is a New Japan wrestler, but still I will watch him because he's pretty cool in the ring, like wrestling the likes of Kenny Omega and putting on banger matches and trilogy like banger matches, I should say. And also, who else? And that's where I knew the likes about Kazuchika Okada, Jay White, and even Juice Robinson, which before they signed with AEW, like when they were crossover from New Japan to AEW. And what's your thoughts on on that? What's your thoughts on him possibly joining his brother into WWE and continuing their father's legacy, and keeping it alive, like other second and third generation superstars like Cody Rhodes, The Rock, Randy Orton, Charlotte Flair, and so much more. And even The Rock's daughter Ava, which her real name's Simone Johnson, of course, but she's going by the name Ava in NXT by being the assistant of Shawn Michaels, which he's the writer of NXT at this time. But yeah. But yeah, y'all let me know down in the comments below on what's your thoughts, and we're gonna move on to the next wrestling news, and that is we're gonna continue by we're gonna talk about Shawn Spears confirms AEW departure. And this is some breaking and some I'll say not much breaking, but this is some big and breaking news of this video, and the biggest shock of this wrestling news video with when Shawn Spears is leaving AEW in January 1st, 2024, becoming a free agent. Shortly after the report was published, like Spears took to social media to confirm the news. Like what he's saying, what a wonderful time it has been. I thank he said thank you AEW for allowing me to be there from the ground level. It's been a fantastic 5 years of growth, like in personal development. This is a personal choice, and one that is best for me and my family. At this time, thank you thank you all, staff and talent alike, for the memories. And let's see the post right here on top on the social media on his Twitter page, or his X page, I should say. And I'm give you about 5 seconds to look over it. And if you need more time, my best recommendation is for you to pause this video to get to have some extra time of reading it and taking your time reading it, of course. But Shawn Spears joined AEW in 2019 and was part of an early feud with Cody Rhodes, facing off with Rhodes at AEW All Out 2019. Spears has not wrestled on AEW television since All Out 2023, when he competed in the over budget battle royale. Spears and his wife Cassie Lee, formerly known as Peyton Royce in WWE, recently announced that Lee was pregnant with their second child. And what's your thoughts And do you think this could be a sign that he could be joining WWE really soon? Only time will tell. Like, I'll say, I would believe he would join WWE. It depends on if he wants to sign with them, because I believe he would get an offer by Triple H in WWE. Like, because for the fact that he was a star in NXT when Triple H was the head booker on the Nat show, when Vince McMahon had him as the head booker, and he was all in for this guy, like being the perfect 10 as Ty Dillinger, like 10, 10, 10, which I believe he could do that again, but he could be more successful this time and not as a glorified jobber, by being like a big deal in the mid-card division, whether if he was on a Raw or a SmackDown, which I believe he could be on Raw, fighting for the Intercontinental Championship, which I think that would be a perfect fit for the for 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 him, like in his second run, could be more successful than it is like than it was like 5 years ago. And I believe he probably had a 5 year deal on AEW, because I remember when he left the company back in 2019. It was at a time like when he wasn't really making not much of appearance. Like, and he left like in January or February of that year and decided to go to AEW, like when he became a free agent on that year. And he's been in the all elite promotion for the past 5 years. And do you think he's going to stick around in the wrestling business, or do you think he's going to find something better in his life? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. But also what's and if he is going to stay in the wrestling business, do you think he's going to join AEW? Join WWE, or is he going to sign with somewhere like TNA, like in the foreseeable future in 2024? Let me know in the comments down below, and what's your thoughts on Shawn Spears' future in wrestling in 2024, or if he's just gonna have an early retirement, like at least for now, or at least for the foreseeable future of 2024. Just probably to spend a little bit more time with his wife and his newborn baby from a couple years ago, like a year or two ago. But it's been reported that also his real life wife, Cassie Lee, formerly known as Peyton Royce, has been pregnant once again with their second child. And I want to wish them good health, and keep away from the SRV, I believe, or the RSV virus out there, which I've been noted by an excellent source. So yeah, be careful out there. It's noted that it's worse than COVID, but anyways, I want to say that's the reason why I brought it up in the beginning of this video. Just be safe, just for health and safety concerns and protocols, of course, and giving you a little warning. But yeah, continue with the wrestling news video. I wish y'all the best health and best in y'all's foreseeable future on whatever decision y'all make, and for it to be in y'all's favor. Like, for all the couples and and their families of their own, like at this time, like and hope, wish, and pray for million folds of blessings upon their homes. And we're gonna move on to the next wrestling news, and it is some Calvin Tankman, like, says that winning the DPW World Championship, like, was a culmination of a lot of work. And it says Calvin Tankman, like, comment on capturing the Deadlock Pro World championship. World championship, well, Tankman was able to capture the championship at the promotion's recent event on December 10th, defeating Kobe Corino to be a deadlock original, as he has been is competing for the promotion since it started in 2021.
What food?
Huh?
I want to eat.
Not yet. I still have to finish my podcast wrestling news video.
Why?
Huh?
Why food?
Uncle Super Ninja Austin would love to have something to eat, but after his podcast.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Want food?
Yeah. I like to have some food, Birdie.
Okay. I love it.
But yeah, anyways,
You like me.
Sammy love you. Yeah, what a sweet little baby. And Samson, not too much. But anyways, Samson, calm down. Anyways,
Here,
it's
Church.
a culmination of a lot of work, man. Yeah, but stay in there, Samson. I culminate a lot of work. I've been there since day one. I'd like to think of myself as one of the stars. The fans call me the gatekeeper, but now the gatekeeper has become the standard. I I think it's been that way for a while. I just needed to go through with it. It's always a shock, Tankman said, when asked what it felt when the three count happened. Like he continued, no shock as in and I didn't think I could do it, but as a wrestler, you're always thinking if they kick out of this, I'll go to this next, no, to this next when the three count happens. It's like, oh wait, they didn't kick out of this one while laughing. Then the explosion of emotion hits after it sets in. Elsewhere in the interview, Tankman said that he'd signed another contract in wrestling if the money is right. Fans can check it out in the other article. Check it on the other article the on here on Fightful Select. But what's your thoughts on this independent wrestler named Calvin Tankman, like becoming the new DPW World Heavyweight Champion? Y'all let me know down in the comments below, and and what's your thoughts on this for those DPW fans out there that watch plenty of independent wrestling shows all around the internet, wherever you get your show from. But anyways, let's but yeah, we're moving on to the next wrestling news, and that is we got some AEW news now as Tony Khan about the future of AEW, saying, I can't say what the future of AEW will hold. There will likely be a lot of suitors. Like Tony Khan talks his relationship with Warner Bros. Discovery on the AEW World's End media call. Tony Khan was asked about AEW's relationship with Warner Bros. Discovery, the company that owns the TNT and TBS networks, like that AEW shows air on. The three AEW shows air on, like that. The topic of the relationship has been a hot talking point in the world of wrestling. Future of the partnership between the two companies. In response, Khan noted that he's excited to work with Warner Bros. Discovery throughout 2024 before conversations about AEW's media rights begin to happen. He said, "We have a great relationship with Warner Bros. Discovery. It's amazing now. We've been talking to them for several years, and this coming weekend marks the 5-year anniversary of the launch of AEW. And it's about to be also the 5th-year anniversary of Super Ninja Austin. But anyways, we announced the information on January 1st, 2019, and here we are days away from the 5-year anniversary of that. Warner Brothers Discovery has been in uh, indispensable indispensable like partner throughout this journey. I'm very excited about the future of AEW and excited to work with Warner Brothers Discovery throughout 2024. And going forward after that, there is going to be a there's going to be a lot of exciting conversations about AEW, about AEW's media rights. It'll it'll be a very exciting year, and a lot of things are going to happen. We have a great situation with Warner Bros. Discovery, and great situation with Warner Bros. Discovery, and it's been a great year for that partnership. Khan then said that he can't say what the future of AEW holds for certain, but noted that there is a ton of interest, in both Ring of Honor and All Elite Wrestling. And he also added, "We're under an exclusive agreement. I can't say what the future of AEW will hold for certain, but I know there is a lot of interest in pro wrestling, and judging by the market, I've had lots of interest in Ring of Honor, which I'm holding and looking forward to having an extra card to play later in the coming year. In such negotiations, knowing there is a ton of interest, in Ring of Honor, and that that product from outside parties and knowing there is far more interest in AEW multiple times, more and far greater rights fees for AEW in the future. It it bodes it bodes well in the market, knowing there there will likely be a lot of suitors for AEW. We'll find out for sure as we get closer to the end of the year. Uh, I I I to say it's really great working at Warner Brothers Discovery, and it anyone came in, it would have to be a heck of an offer because we have a great thing going here, and it's a great place to be. I do value the relationship, and it said if you miss anything from the December 27th episode of AEW Dynamite, it's a I click on to this link onto the show's Fightful's recap of the show, which I'm gonna talk some of it about what sort of likely happened, at least in the matches perspective, so with the likes of the Golden Continental Classic side of the Golden Leagues of the Continental Classic tournament is with John Moxley and Swerve Strickland and Jay White, in the three-way semifinals, which John Moxley won, of course, with Swerve Strickland was too late of stopping the pinfall with John Moxley hitting the Death Rider on Jay White, which I predicted that Swerve Strickland, I re-updated that Swerve Strickland would be distracted by Keith Lee, and that's what's going to cost him the Continental Classic semifinals match, to be in the finals of the Continental Classic at World's End. And then probably lead up to Keith Lee versus Swerve Strickland down the line on AEW World's End, which unfortunately that didn't not exactly happen. But what did happen is John Moxley win, which I predicted he would win because of one, that, and two, Jay White pinned him on last week's episode. You know the statistics in professional wrestling. If someone has the upper hand, right before the big match, they're gonna usually lose. So I would say I predicted John Moxley from those two reasons. But anyways, John Moxley will face the winner of the Blue Leagues, which that was Eddie Kingston, which there was a hard hitting match. That was definitely their biggest and hardest hitting match they had yet, between Danielson and Kingston, with them fighting for this spot into the Blue League's final spot against the finalist of the Gold League spot of this Continental Classic, on who's going to be Triple Crown. And it looks like Eddie Kingston's going to be heading in with some momentum himself because he's 2/3 of the future Triple Crown championships, considering he's the New Japan Strong Openweight champion and the Ring of Honor World Championship. But what's your thoughts on this bout? With between who's gonna win this bout in general at World's End? Let me know in the comments down below. And I also have great news about World's End, about me making a review video, which I'm talking about in just a moment. And we also have Swerve Strickland taking on Keith Lee finally in the match, and it looks like I'm finally get to see them, or we all get to see them. Let me rephrase that. Finally get to see them fight and finish this storyline feud between the former teammates of Swerve and Lar Glory. But let me know in the comments down below what's your thoughts on Tony Khan's opinion about world's uh, about you could let me know in the comments what's your thoughts on Tony Khan cannot predict anything or even give out anything that he knows about 2024 in the foreseeable future, between especially in the TV relations with Warner Bros. Discovery in this deal in their networks with TNT and TBS. But yeah, back to the recap. We also had a brawling segment with Riho chasing off Mariah May with the save of timeless Tony Storm, but she got brought down by the former and inaugural AEW Women's World Champion Riho, by getting crossbody, I believe, right off the top, even though she ran out of there before she got clobbered out of the ring by Riho. She landed on the Luther's arms, but she still did a dive right onto both her and her butler, sending a message to the Timeless One, which I believe this could be a sign because of this go home edition of AEW Dynamite. With her having the upper hand, unless they have be on AEW Collision, which will be the go home edition of that show. But she had the upper hand over Tony Storm, so I believe this will show that she's going to be likely losing at AEW World's End. But anyways, we also had the Golden Leagues. We had the Blue Leagues. We got Sky Blue taking on Chris Statlander, which she lost to Sky Blue, or should I say Sky Black, like I usually would call her. We also had MJF defending his AEW World, not AEW, Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion alongside Samoa Joe. Only what we thought it was going to be Samoa Joe, but he got attacked from behind by either the Devil or his goons with him grabbing onto his left leg, which that's what we thought he was injured because as soon as he started wrestling on his own, when MJF insists that he do it by himself, is where he got caught off guard too many times to the point he couldn't do nothing else. With the Devil's goons, like a goon or two more, then he was already wrestling in the ring, outnumbered him even more, in a 3 or 4-on-1 situation, which it was enough for them to become the new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. And whoever these guys are, must be a tag team, which I would assume will be the Kingdom, but it's only just a theory rather than the case, because I do not have any spoilers of any reports on who it could possibly be. Don't be asking me for no questions in the comments below. I don't know nothing. I'm just thinking it could be the Kingdom and they're just framing it on MJF, MJF being the Devil. That's why Roderick Strong's framing it to be so he could be in the innocent side. But I don't think that's what's going to make him innocent, because even if he had an explanation, because he's easily pointed out MJF easily. So that's what people who are guilty usually would do. They will point it out on somebody else, especially for those that are been accused of a lot of stuff. So it could be Roderick Strong, but then again, it could be Adam Cole himself, and he could reveal that he's aligning with the Kingdom. But anyways, back to Samoa Joe scaring off the Devil. This is where the Devil went on the Titantron screen. He was like, "Pleasure doing business with you." This is where Samoa Joe came from behind and whacked MJF with the steel chair, and this is where he beat down poor MJF. And it looks like he was in business with the Devil the whole time. And it looks like it's going to be confirmed at this Saturday's AEW World's End, which we're going to see what's going to be next for what's next for this this storyline with who's under the devil mask and if Samoa Joe is doing business with the devil just so he can win the AEW World Championship, which we could see all that happening. Like if rumors turn out to be true, if he's going to be leaving All Elite Wrestling, this could be the best way to do it. Like we could have MJF lose the title to Samoa Joe, like with the devil interfering once again. Like not only he lost the Ring of Honor Tag Championship, but his Triple Beast Strap Championship, and they'll kill him off doing it that way. Like we'll start this alliance. Like we'll have Adam Cole, the Kingdom, and even Roderick Strong himself. And it looked like he really has been working, and it looked like Samoa Joe had been working along with Roderick Strong all along. Like, and he'd been, and not only MJF was betrayed by Samoa Joe, but also by his brochacho for life, Adam Cole. Which they're gonna be a new heel alliance. Like if rumors happen to be true with MJF joining WWE, like with him leaving in January 1st, 2024, which this could be the best way to write him off. But then again, it's just a theory rather than a spoiler. So don't start throwing shade at me in the comments. This is some kind of creativity of a prediction or in a theory, out of a theory, like what might happen like in the next couple of days. But yeah, let me know what y'all think of this theory in the comments down below. Do you agree with me on this, or what are your thoughts overall? Y'all let me know in the comments down below. We're gonna go back to WWE news now because Zelina Vega has been reported that she re-signed with WWE. WWE reportedly look up another talent like Mike Johnson at PW Insider. Reports that Zelina Vega has officially re-signed with WWE. The deal is reportedly a multi-year contract. Full terms full terms were not disclosed, and WWE has not officially confirmed the signing. Vega returned to WWE in July 2021. After being released in November 2020, Vega has a constant role on television since her return, becoming the first ever Queen of the Ring and partnering with Santos Escobar, like originally in Legado del Fantasma on the main roster, and now with the LWO along with Rey Mysterio. Vega last wrestled on the December 22nd episode of WWE SmackDown, competing in the Holiday Havoc match, where she teamed with Bianca Belair, Michin, and Shotzi to take on Damage Control, Asuka, Bayley, Io Sky, and Kairi Sane. Fightful will provide more details on Vega re-signing with WWE when more is known. But what's your thoughts on Zelina Vega re-signing with WWE? And do you think it's a win-win? Which I believe it is. And I think she's going to be continuing to make an impact for herself in the World Wrestling Entertainment in the next few years to come. Maybe even having a women's title run at some point, like whether if it be in the Women's World Championship or the WWE Women's Championship. I cannot count that out. Like maybe it may take a couple of years from now, but I believe that will happen sooner or later at some point. because she did, like, in her last title match, she did put on an impression at Backlash for Rhea Ripley's championship that she currently is to this day, and it showed that she's not that's not going to be her last title match in her WWE career, and there's plenty of more to come, like especially when she re-signs her deal. Re-sign her contract with WWE. They'll have her stick around for at least a half a decade to come. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below on what do you think on let me know what y'all think about Zelina Vega's run in WWE so far, and do you think it's better than her first run? Which I would believe it is, because she's more wrestling than she ever did when she was a wrestling manager alongside Andrade, which I believe her release was perhaps the blessing in disguise. Even though she haven't wrestled for another promotion and she eventually made a return like half a year later, like in the summer of 2021, as soon as like when she got released in October of 2020. But I don't know what's gonna be next for her future, at least anytime soon. But I can see her being women's champion on either brand, whether if that being on Raw or SmackDown, whatever they have planned for her in the foreseeable future. But let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. I would say hopefully it's very successful in her future in WWE, which I believe is getting more. Like, she's been in more matches, even being in like Money in the Bank matches, being the first ever Queen of the Ring, like it said on this article, and even winning the women's tag team champions alongside Carmella. And also aligning herself as part of the Legado del Fantasma, the main roster version. Like, I believe she kind of replaced Elektra Lopez from their time in NXT, but not much, because for the fact that it's just only on the main roster. But yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments down below, and wish for many more years to come for the former Queen of the Ring. But we're gonna end this video with some Tony Khan expects some big revelations at AEW World's End, like pertaining to the devil. Like, Tony Khan says that AEW World's End may be the site of revelation, like as it pertains to the devil storyline. The main storyline surrounding Maxwell Jacob Freeman in the AEW World's End, World Title. My apologies for the tongue tie. Centers around a masked devil and his masked assailants. Like, on the December 27th episode of AEW Dynamite, it was revealed that Samoa Joe was working with the devil in order to swerve MJF and have more of an advantage going into their upcoming AEW World title bout on December 30th at AEW World's End. Speaking on the media call prior to the event, Tony Khan told 10 counts Steve Fall that it does feel like there could be a revelation coming in the storyline by the pay-per-view event on Long Island, and he said it feels like we're going close, we're getting close to that point. I do expect some big revelations and big moments like at World's End. It's it's its own idea, and it's something that I'm excited about. I do feel like it's coming close to the culmination, and it does end and I'm looking forward to it. It's been very different than the other aspects of AEW. One aspect of it has been really interesting, and it's been something to keep people hooked and being and those people that want to see that kind of episodic story is really something that has a lot of people talking and built a lot of interest for World's End is the identity of the devil. He said onto this interview, Samoa Joe's deal with the devil turned turned out to be fruitful for his assailants. Like as the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships is currently held by two unknown names, like that are associated with the devil. But what's your thoughts on who's the two assailants that these two mystery assailants of the devil, these mystery devil that's now currently the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions? And do you think it has anything to do with the kingdom, or do you think it's some kind of an other mystery tag partner that could be working with this mystery devil? That's one of his assailants and his minions, or two of the minions out of the rest of them, like into this group of these devil goons. And do you think that Samoa Joe could win the AEW World Championship, or do you think Maxwell Jacob Freeman will become the or will retain the AEW World Championship, despite who maybe the devil is and his goons probably interfering? Which I'm gonna let y'all decide in the comments down below. But if Samoa Joe wins, I'm gonna expect MJF could be written off of AEW for the fact that his contract's coming up in January 1st, 2024. Because he said in interviews previously on the Wrestling News before that he never signed an extension, like at least not yet, but he could. But that depends if he wants to stay in AEW. But if not, then I would expect him, this could be a sign that he could join WWE like in a similar fashion what Cody Rhodes did 2 years prior. Like when he left AEW when he didn't have a contract, left like in February, like when he put over Sammy Guevara, like when Sammy Guevara defeated him for his interim AEW TNT championship to become the undisputed AEW TNT champion. And that's when he joined WWE, and then he became Seth Rollins' mystery opponent at the Showcase of the Immortals. We could see a similar scenario here if they see him they see him somewhat of a main roster star, but I think he has a little bit more of development and needs to learn more of WWE's type of wrestling. But I don't think you're going to sign him to sign him to an NXT deal. Like, I would say they'll probably move him up to the main roster. Or if they put him on NXT, they'll push him to the moon, like in some kind of a, like, Karrion Kross kind of treatment. Like, they'll make him the big deal is NXT. But we could do main. But we could see him in the main roster being some kind of a program, like I don't know, like perhaps like with a Sami Zayn or even SmackDown kind of wrestlers like a Kevin Owens. But I'll say, but that's for like if those plans are going to be accurate. But I don't think they're accurate, at least not at this time. But anyways, we're gonna continue talking about who's gonna be the devil, who's gonna win the AEW World Championship, what's gonna be next into the storyline. We're gonna have the only way to find out is to see the pay-per-view itself. And like I said, and yeah, and about the good news that I have some great news, I should say, that because I got the pay-per-view in advance, which like it's 2 days before the pay-per-view itself, so I'm gonna be able to get to watch it and even recap it. And I will be doing, and yes, sir, ma'am, I will be doing a review, which will be the SNA podcast, first ever AEW pay-per-view review, which will be the AEW World's End review. Make sure y'all check it out this Saturday evening, and I guess you could say it's kind of replacing AEW Collision, but it's for the holiday week though. But I'm gonna go back and do AEW reviews when it's the new year in 2024. But for now, this is gonna be my final AEW review of my overall professional wrestling review in 2023, and it will be my 200th episode of the SNA podcast. Make sure y'all be looking forward to seeing that, because I will watch the pay-per-view. Like I finally will watch an AEW pay-per-view overall, like at least on pay-per-view. But yeah. But what's your thoughts are gonna be? What's gonna be on AEW's World's End, like on the card, like with the final, with the finalists will face each other on the Continental Classic tournament between Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston, who's gonna be a Triple Crown Continental Champion. We also have a no DQ match between Adam Copeland and Christian Cage for the TNT Championship, which I forgot to tell y'all. Like Adam Copeland got into a very brutal brawl with the current TNT champion and best friend, now enemy, which you could say frenemy, I suppose. Man, they've been beating Adam Copeland beat the living hell out of him at last night's Dynamite, and I'm not sure why I call it living all the time. I say beaten sometimes, but let me know in the comments down below and what you think. But we're gonna have to wait and see in 2 days from now, on December 30th, which that will be the pay-per-view, which we'll be watching it and we're gonna be reviewing it on the same night. And there will be my 200th episode that I've ever made in this SNA podcast gig that I'm doing on YouTube. But yeah, that was it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please make sure to subscribe, click the bell notifications, and hit the big thumbs up button so you can be and then subscribe so you can be the first one to be uploaded. I mean, the first one to be notified when I upload my latest videos. Make sure you check out the rest of my videos onto my channel at Super Ninja Austin 213, and make sure you check out my next video, which will be 198th episode of the SNA podcast tomorrow afternoon, same time, I suppose. And it'll be part 79, where I'll be talking about the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know from the Wrestling Inc. Article, which will be talking about the wrestling news on December 29th, 2023. It is only just a matter of days when it's there's only a matter of days that we're going to see we're going to see what's going to happen next on AEW World's End. And who's exactly your prediction on I'll say tomorrow? Yeah, I'll say on the day after tomorrow's pay-per-view. Y'all let me know down in the comments below. I know my predictions. I'll go for the likes of and Hook challenge what's his name? Willa Yuta a week ago for his FTW championship in a FTW rules match. But let me know in the comments down below on what's your thoughts on that too. I'd say Hook will win that match for sure, definitely. And I would say Adam Copeland's definitely gonna beat Christian Cage. And I believe he's finally going to beat Christian Cage and become the new TNT champion. Like, despite what Nick Wayne and his mother try to have going on like by distracting the rated R superstar. And then we got the AEW Women's World Champion, which I believe will be Timeless Toni Storm, of course. Then we got the TBS champion, Julia Hart against Abaddon, which I believe Julia Hart's going to win that match because she's continuing to be a unbeatable champion, like a Chris Statlander and a Jade Cargill, and they need to continue that momentum until they find somebody just as good as she is, and they're in an undefeated streak. But we also have AEW. We also had the AEW 8-man tag match with Powerhouse Hobbs and Kyle Fletcher, and teaming up with Ricky Starks and Big Bill, the reigning defending AEW World Tag Team Champions, against the one half of the number one contenders of the Golden Jets, Jericho, which I believe that he got a replacement, like he said, like he teased from his past, like last Saturday, I should say. But last night's Dynamite confirmed that, because Sammy Guevara was not looked like that he was about to join the Don Callis family when he was the surprising latest member of the Don Callis family. But he was like, I don't think I would belong into this family because I just don't fit well in this picture right here. And plus, I know who you are, Don Callis. Like, you're nothing but a selfish manipulating person. Like if they don't if they don't give you your you only care about your clients, like the likes of Powerhouse Hobbs and Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita, because they do exactly what you want, and that's the only thing that you care about them. Like, they do your dirty work for you. And I'm not gonna be a part of this. And this is where Don Cal started insulting him. You're not only a failure as a wrestler, but as a father as well, which he shoved him down to the ground. But if I was Sammy Guevara, I would have took a page out of the Blackpool Combat Club's playbook and knock his ass out. But yeah, that's where he got triple teamed by the Don Callis family until Chris Jericho came out there. But he eventually got outnumbered with Ricky Starks and Big Bill getting in the ring and getting involved, because they're arch rivals at the moment, or at least for the championship title stake, of course. And that's where we saw the returning Sting and Darby Allin, which I thought he won't be back until the springtime of 2024, because it's been reported that Darby Allin's been training in China to climb Mount Everest. But anyways, it looks like he's still training for that, and he won't be doing that until the beginning of the year. So, but he still have plenty of time to team with Jericho and his tag partner Sting and Sammy Guevara to take on the Don Callis family and the tag team champions Ricky Starks and Big Bill. Which I believe we will have this tag team match with Jericho and Sammy Guevara, teaming against Big Bill and Ricky Starks for the AEW tag team. Will be in another day, perhaps in a special edition of a Dynamite or a Collision, which we could possibly still see Jericho becoming AEW World Tag Team Champion. Unfortunately, it won't be with Kenny Omega, rather than being with his own longtime teammate and best friend, Sammy Guevara. And I guess this will turn into make it a heel turn with the Elite, for the fact that they'll be this is where the Young Bucks will be like, see, Kenny, he don't really care about you. He instantly he immediately or instantly replace you with Sammy Guevara. And this is where they start getting into Kenny Omega's head and brainwash him. And this will see a heel turn from him too, which they'll be back into their heel days, like back in 2021. But now it'll be like a new gimmick version, like it'll be a new character, like into this new heel, this new updated heel turn version of the Elite. But we're gonna have to see probably in the foreseeable future. But that's only if Kenny Omega comes back. But which I'll say, which is the likely when he comes back. Let me rephrase that. And I'll say he would, and I think he would be. He would and he's gonna get through the sickness, and he's gonna from this what's this called circulitis, I believe it's called, which I call circulosis, but it's circulitis. Yeah, my apologies for the misenunciation. But anyways, I'll say once he's gonna go, and I'll pray that he will get a speedy recovery, which I believe we'll see him, will be probably later on down the line, like in the next, probably, I cannot put no date, but I'll say I'll give it about a few extra months. So I would say whenever the Young Bucks come back, I would say they'll challenge Jericho and Sammy Guevara for the Team Sex Gods, what I should say. Like they'll take on the Young Bucks, and it'll be for the AEW Tag Team Championship, which they will retain their Tag Team Championship, perhaps at a AEW Revolution event, I should say, which we're going to have to wait probably and see in the next 3 months from now. About that matter, of course. But moving on to the next prediction, I'll predict Keith Lee defeating Swerve Strickland. I would say in the main event, I would say since Samoa Joe attacked him, he got the upper hand. I'll give it to MJF. Please don't disappoint me right now. Even though I'm predicting that you're going to join WWE, join WWE in 2024 as soon as your contract expires. But it looks like he might retain. He might sign an extension, but only for a couple of months. And then until he drops the title to somebody, he'll probably be at AEW Revolution, which will give him plenty of time of joining WWE, which that's my prediction. I don't think he's going to make any WrestleMania appearance unless they sign him like by then, and they'll say their latest signing of Maxwell J, and give him the Jade Cargill treatment, like make him a big deal. Like he's one of the hottest and biggest free agents in all of professional wrestling or sports entertainment, or whatever they want to call it, whatever term they want to use. And that's how I would see it go down. Like, and maybe Adam Cole is the mystery devil, and this could be a sign that Adam Cole could dethrone him at Revolution for his AEW World Title, which they'll be building that up to that point, like until that pay-per-view. Which I think that's gonna be long-term and storytelling booking for the best storytelling booking that Tony Khan has ever did in his All Elite Wrestling. His days in All Elite Wrestling as the president and the owner of the company. And I can hardly wait right now to see what's gonna go down at AEW World's End. And for those who's going to be watching too, make sure you stay tuned. Stay tuned for the SNA podcast review or to tell exactly what just happened. And let me and talk about it in the comments down below on my review in 2 days from now. But yeah, like I said, I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin, on this 197th episode of the SNA podcast. Part 78 of the wrestling news, where I talk about the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know from Fightful Select. Hope you all have a great Thursday, and I'll see you all tomorrow afternoon on Friday, which I won't be doing no SmackDown reviews because it'll be the best of SmackDown, and also same with AEW Rampage, which they're pre-taped. Well, regardless, Rampage will be pre-taped, but I still do reviews for the fact that it's like it's new, but even though it's pre-taped, it's a new episode of the Rampage event. But anyways, but the reason why I'm not doing it this week because it's holiday week, so I'm giving the week off of doing wrestling reviews until next week when they have the New Year's editions of Monday Night Raw of Day 1 and NXT New Year's Evil, the annual New Year's Evil, and also the New Year's Resolution edition of Friday Night SmackDown, which we'll see Randy Orton and LA Knight and AJ Styles in a triple threat number one contenders match, or who's going to face Roman Reigns at this coming year's Royal Rumble pay-per-view match. Which we got so much to talk about. We also have Seth Rollins taking on Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship, defending his world champ, which I believe he's going to retain. We got Becky Lynch against Nia Jax, first time ever in a one-on-one match. We also have Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler taking on Natalya and what's her name, Tegan Knox, which we're gonna see all that in action in the upcoming in this upcoming year, like with the start of, and we also have, I believe, AEW is going to have a New Year's special edition, a special New Year's edition of AEW Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision a week from this week, I should say. But yeah, make sure you check that out, and I'll see you all in the next video. Okay, I'm about to say bye-bye to Uncle Super Ninja Austin's SNA fans. You want to do it with Uncle SNA?
Yeah.
Okay. Until we meet again, Super Ninja Austin and my nephew Atreyu here, the assassin is out. Bye-bye, my SNA fans. See you tomorrow afternoon. Happy holidays.
Now you're done.
Yep, I'm done. Yay!